Now, it's well known that smoking and obesity can cause you health problems, but you may be surprised to hear that loneliness can also play a part. The Jo Cox Loneliness Commission was set up in the wake of the murder of the MP in her constituency. We'll hear from Jo Cox's friend and fellow MP Rachel Reeves in just a moment.
But first, we've been to Doncaster, where the charity Befriend has found a simple way of combating isolation among older people. Alan, who's 93, knows only too well what it feels like to be lonely, as Mark Hansel reports.
Alan used to go to bed wishing he wouldn't wake up in the morning. That was after his wife Sylvia died 2 years ago. The 93-year-old was left feeling extremely lonely.
Hey Alan, here's your tea.
But ever since Julia started as a volunteer befriender, visiting him every week for an hour or so, Alan's life has been transformed.
You get up in the morning and think, well, another 4 days and Julia will be coming. As I say, it's like light at the end of the tunnel. You can see a future which you couldn't before. You know, there's something to look forward to, and if you've nothing to look forward to, then, you know, you just waste away.
Julia says despite the 62-year age gap, she's gained as much as she's given from volunteering.
Life-changing. It's the best thing that I've ever done. Regardless of what's going on at work or at home, I might turn up in a really bad mood, but I'll have been here 5 minutes and I'll have forgotten everything. He'll have cheered me up. Just thank you, Alan. Thank you for letting me into your life and be a part of it.
Loneliness can have a severe impact on your health. A study found that older people who are lonely are 3.4 times more likely to suffer depression, nearly twice as likely to develop dementia, and have an increased risk of diabetes, stroke, and coronary heart disease. That's why the charity Befriend was set up earlier this year by Mike Niles. To keep costs down, Mike moved back in with his parents in Doncaster and runs the charity from their garage. He matches volunteers with isolated older people.
The need is huge and we see that every single day. But just an hour a week, a lot of people are seeing that as something they can do, whether it be on the way back from work or back from the shops, just popping in, having a cuppa, having a chat. We could really make a difference to that person's life and our own.
It's nice to go and get a bit of fresh air, isn't it?
It is. It's lovely to get out.
More older, isolated people like Alan will be befriended by volunteers like Julia, as the charity has now been given nearly £250,000 by the Big Lottery Fund, securing its future and ensuring fewer older people suffer the dire consequences of loneliness. Mark Hansel, BBC Look North, Doncaster.